The court in India has declared that Triple Talaq is not constitutional and that no personal law can be greater than the Constitution of India. As such, Triple Talaq has been outlawed in India from today. Divorce, as you know, Carol, was introduced by Islam to the world 1400 years ago. Before that, there was no concept of divorce. And the idea behind divorce was to make sure that people didn't kill their wives, they let them go if they couldn't get on with them. As you know, there was a king in England, Henry VIII, I think, who actually murdered his queens because he wanted to remarry because he wasn't getting an heir.
Right.
Now, this was before the advent of the Protestant faith. As a European, what is your view on Triple Talaq?
Well, first of all, it's an example of Sharia law and a religion imposing a belief system on what's supposed to be a secular society. One of the challenges India has is that it claims out of one side of its mouth that it's a secular country, yet it still has on the books laws that are driven by religious foundations. For example, I can't have beef. I'll go to jail for 7 years. That's wrong in a secular country. It's also wrong to allow a parallel system to exist outside the laws of the state. That's unconstitutional. Constitution either means what it does or it means nothing at all. So I think the courts have done the right thing. It's a very important first step. You can't just divorce your wife by saying, I divorce thee, I divorce thee, I divorce thee 3 times. That's nonsense. India as a whole, though, must reform its religious laws and secular laws what concerns religion, because they have different ones. They have the Christian marriage law, they have the Hindu marriage law, they have it for Sikhs, they don't really have anything for Jews. There should be one religious law, period, just like there is in real secular countries.
That is true, and in fact, as far as divorce laws goes, there are different laws for Hindus, different laws for Christians, different laws for Muslims. The thing is that if a Christian couple wants to get divorced, I think it takes them years. But if a Hindu couple wants to get divorced and there's mutual consent there, then the time period is only 6 months.
Yeah,
I feel that there should be some common law for divorce by mutual consent. And I also feel that this Triple Talaq thing is not Islamic per se, because it was not introduced by the Prophet. It was introduced later on by the Khalifs, the Khalifas or the Caliph or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And that too, I believe it was introduced to deter people from threatening their wives with divorce. The Khalifa said that if you even threaten your wife thrice, saying I divorce you, it will amount to a divorce. And remarriage with her will be through a very difficult process. She'll have to get married to somebody else, the marriage will have to be consummated, that man will have to divorce her, and only then can you remarry.
Yeah, you're right about recounting the history. As with other religions, there's a big gap between what the original so-called prophet said, Muhammad in this case of Islam, versus what has come after the fact. You see that in Judaism, you see it not so much in Judaism, but a lot in, say, Catholicism. The Hindu marriage or the Christian Marriage Act under India is under Catholic rules. They don't believe in divorce. But what if you're a Baptist or you're from some other denomination? You're a Protestant. It's a whole different ballgame. So it's India's fault for putting all their eggs in the Catholic basket. Even the Pope now is saying, please forgive people if they've had an abortion. Well, there's a whole issue of how can a human being have divine powers to forgive another human. They can't. They're humans. But that is what they believe in. They believe the Pope is the only guy who talks to God. That's what they choose to believe. So you're right that there is a gap between Sharia law, which was put together after Muhammad died, versus what the original scripture says. One famous example in the Christian faith to show this is not just with Islam, the problem. Look at the issue of 3 wise men or the commandment, thou shalt not kill. It doesn't say that in original Hebrew. It says, thou shalt not murder, which is different. It doesn't say there were 3 wise men. It says 3 wise men later came, but it never said there were only 3 that set out. There's a disconnect between the mythology of today, the revisionism versus what the original scripts say, and most people who are Christians don't even know that Jesus was a Jew. He wasn't a Christian.
So basically we agree on the fact that it's a good step forward, the court is on the right thing, and Triple Talaq should not be allowed in India because it does not give women any rights.
And
it
more
deprives them of all their rights as human beings.
Yeah, and more importantly, you can't impose a religious doctrine in a secular country. It doesn't work.
Exactly.
It doesn't work.
Thank you.
Thank you.